what the hell is going on with Arcane Season 2? Or what the hell went on with Arcane Season 2, I should say, because that shit is long over. And I can't lie to y'all, Season 1 is clearly better. I think Season 2 was kind of a mess. I'm going to keep it a band like Avengers Endgame level mess, because it was still good. It still had some insanely hype moments. It had some jaw-dropping moments, some emotional moments that got me almost a tear coming out my eye, bro. But then it had some moments where I was like, what? When did this happen? You get a power-up. You get a power-up. You get a power-up. Like, and then it got to the end, and I was like, huh. That's how it ends? I'm not even sure if I want to call this a review, to be honest. I kind of just want to vent to y'all about my feelings about this season. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments down below, because I'm sure some of y'all agree with me. I just don't get how we went from starting off this season with building a task force to try to, make things peaceful with Zahn and try to find Powder or Jinx, you feel what I'm saying? While that's going on, we see this relationship between Jinx and Isha, who's pretty much becoming a mini version of her, continue to build up, and it's kind of having Jinx realize how bad her ways were, you feel what I'm saying? It's kind of making her realize, damn, I could be a terrible influence if I want to be, or I can be a symbol. I could be some sort of a savior to these people down here, which is what they were bringing her up to be. They were making murals of her and shit. They were calling for her. They were dyeing her hair blue. After what happened at the end of season 1 with her blowing up that damn palace, she became a symbol of hope for these people. And I mean, when you're down there smelling fungus every day, I don't blame you, bro. Somebody's got to do something about it, and it looks like they want Powder to do it. Those two ideals clash. You got Vi and Caitlyn and the task force coming to look for Powder, and when that happens and they get into a scuffle, Isha, the name of the little girl, defends the hell out of Powder with her life, literally, and Caitlyn was about to body her. Caitlyn was going down the deep end. Then out of nowhere, you see Caitlyn hanging out with the big black Wakandan lady, buff as hell, by the way. I just got to put that out there. And up until this point, I think that the story still makes sense. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, Caitlyn, hungry for power, hungry for revenge after what happened to her mom, after not being able to get Powder again and again. She finally sees an opportunity to take that next step up in power and maybe do something about it. I thought that was cool in hell. I even think that the weird little side relationship she had with that one weirdo who it turned out to be a traitor out of nowhere I thought that made sense too, I guess. But then they start throwing out power-ups and random people getting sucked into different dimensions. I mean, like, am I tripping to say that this shit was unearned? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there who's a super League of Legends fan and a super Arcane fan is like, you didn't notice that they were setting this up the whole time, season 1 and season 2? No, I didn't, my nigga. That shit was not obvious if they were. I'm going to keep it a band. For her to just randomly get sent off to this other world where she's dealing with, like, mages and what feels like to me like some spiritual demons, you feel what I'm saying? Having to talk to her dead brother, I was like, whoa, what is going on? And then she comes back and she's one of the most OP people in the verse. Just so happens to have one of the best powers that could combat her mother. Like, I guess it was kind of in her, you feel what I'm saying? I mean, her mom is literally the Black Panther of this universe, you feel what I'm saying? So it kind of makes sense she has some innate power. For it to be this level, that shit just didn't make any sense to me, bro. I was like, okay, you get a power up. First, what happened to my boy Jace didn't make any sense to me at all, but when they showed it more and they get to the last episode, it all makes sense. He just got sent to a future where Victor won, you feel what I'm saying? And Victor fucked up the world. But when he first showed up, I was like, man, why is he trying to kill my nigga Victor? And then he ends up shooting him in the chest. I was like, whoa, what is going on? We're trying to save Vander, gang! Which was another part of this season I thought was absolutely insane, bro. They really had to kill Vander twice, my nigga. Once wasn't good enough. Make it worse. Not only did they off Vander, but they off the little girl too? You introduced her just to off her, bro? This is what I'm talking about, bro. In my previous review for Arcane, I said this shit was Nobody Safe the show. And that shit holds up in season 2. Speaking of random stuff going on, you got that scene where Jace and Echo and the little mouse guy, I forget his name, like Piltover or something like that, when they all get sent to different dimensions. This whole episode was like a fever dream, bro. It was cool seeing the possibilities of what could have happened if the mission went awry and Vi was the one to pass. That's insane that this is what happened in this world. But man, it just made me so sad for Echo, because especially what happens to Powder at the end of the show, which I still don't think makes sense, man. Shit was like dangling a $5 bill in front of my face and then snatching it at the last second, bro. Fuck! You know, throughout all that shit I just talked about, there is a shit ton of good in this story, and it keeps making you want more and more and more, even though you're kind of confused, because the story just continues to build and build and build, and more happen every single episode. And it feels like, to a certain extent, that they were rushing to get this season out. You feel what I'm saying? It felt like this was 2 seasons in one. Like, some part of me feels like they could have split this shit into season 2 and season 3 easily. Especially when we get to that last episode in the final battle and how they basically do a time skip to get us in like the thick of the battle. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I guess we didn't need to see it all, but I don't think that needed to be rushed that hard. And we're just not going to talk about how Victor went from such a loving human being to whatever the fuck this is. The jump is actually crazy. We have even more confusingness because I'm pretty sure we didn't see Jace at the end of the show, right? I might be tripping though. Hold on. I'm not tripping, bruh. It seems that Jace and Victor both had to get bodied in order to save everyone from the Arcane, from the Hex Gates. That's a ending, I guess. I'm not really like the biggest fan of that, I guess. I mean, I don't think my boy Jace should have got off. I'm just keeping it a band. I will say though, I think Jace's death makes a ton more sense. A ton. Because it actually, progresses the story a little bit. He said that him and Victor, they started this, they're going to end it together. So that makes sense. It's a full circle moment. You feel what I'm saying? Even though, damn, the more I think about it, Jace did not deserve that shit. There is no part of me that understands why they need to kill Powder. Like, genuinely no part of me. Like, I get it, like, kind of to a certain extent because, I mean, Powder was trying to off herself the last, like, 3, 4, 5 episodes, if you know what I'm saying. So for her, for Powder, this is probably the ending that she wanted. But story-wise, this was not necessary whatsoever. Did you really need Vi to walk up to Vander's, which clearly isn't Vander at this point? This nigga is a full lion at this point. This is a lion / bear / tiger. Are you kidding me? She needs to come up to him, grab his face, and then he's still alive somehow and attacks? I don't know, bro. I just don't think this needed to happen whatsoever. Did they really need to kill Powder? Somebody let me know. I mean, overall, if I'm being honest, I was disappointed by this season, especially with how good season 1 is, especially the first 5 episodes. Those are like a 9.5, 10 out of 10. Then you get to the time skip and it teeters down a tad bit, but it's still strong. It's like a strong 8.5. But this season, I'd probably give it a 7.5, maybe an 8. It had some high highs, some confusing lows, some weird middle parts, and I think it was just kind of a mess overall. No, though, I'm yapping way too long, bro. 7 minutes is crazy. Y'all let me know in the comments down below how y'all felt about Arcane Season 2. Do you think it was a mess? Did you think it was amazing? Let's talk about it in the comments down below, man, because we got to talk about it. Simple.